DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
It's time for Tuesday Night Live Chat with Brian S. Red and John Young. Be switching. There it is. We are there. We are live. Hey, good evening and welcome to tonight's show. Tonight, Brian and I are joined by the one and only Jay Brannan. That's right.
Hey, guys, girls,
right.
Robin, everybody.
Everybody's with us tonight. Tonight, gentlemen, we are going to be talking music. This is something we don't talk about very often. For those of you who have never watched our show before, Brian and I have never talked music. Jay's like music. He's like all about the lights.
All I want to talk about is the lights.
The lights. So for tonight's show, what brought this on is Brian had put up a post about some of his picks for in the last 10 years. You know, everyone's doing the 2009, the 2019, a 10-year gap. He put up a post about talking about music that really meant something. And Brian, just give us a feedback a little bit as you saw DJs sharing some of their song suggestions on that list. What were your thoughts as you were reading through some of those?
Well, I think there were some pretty good suggestions or entries on that list. Some things I had forgotten about. And, I guess I was really big on last decade's music. I was enjoying it personally. This decade, I wasn't enjoying it as much. So it's nice to go back and look and see what really happened, because there were some good things that happened. There were some things that I personally really liked. And there are also some things that maybe weren't my thing, but worked well on my dance floors.
So before we went on, Jay, we were kind of going through some of the songs, and you let's pick it up from the Maroon 5.
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Lola's theme was last decade, by the way, Jay. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
But
I think thinking of, it's hard for me to even get perspective of, we're 2 decades into the century, because there's still so much music that I'm drawing from that's, I guess, last century. Yeah. But as we were talking off camera, I think the strongest contender for who's had the best musical career, I would say, is probably Maroon 5. Looking at the catalog, going first and second. Now, if you're talking, 2010 to 2019, in my eyes, what I'm playing at events, yes, I'm still playing Usher, yes, I'm still playing, I Got a Feeling. But at least in the last couple of years, wow, Bruno Mars has really made a run. I mean, you do a wedding and play 24 Karat, Finesse, Uptown Funk. I mean, you pretty much can do any event and play all 3 of those songs. There aren't a lot of artists that were still doing that. There was the LMFAO days of last decade where you're doing...
No, that was this decade.
Is Sexy and I Know It this decade?
Yes.
Then it's earlier this decade.
Very early.
Yeah.
Forgetting time, that's never a good sign, is it? They had their moment. Pitbull had his time.
Well, Pitbull's been pretty consistent, I will say. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective because, starting when I met Blanca, I was very much getting into the Latin music. And he was there. He was a part of that scene.
Sure.
And I've seen him, just go more and more mainstream.
Right.
So I feel like he's been consistent. I also feel like not even close to an artist that I enjoy the music that this artist does, but Beyonce has also done a lot throughout the last 2 decades.
No, absolutely she has. I think it's hard because you look at things from the perspective of, songs that get big may not get big for us.
Yeah.
You know, I used to say we're 6 months behind on top 40, but with each year we get closer. I remember 2014, the same week that Daft Punk Get Lucky came out is the same week that Blurred Lines came out.
Yeah, I remember we used to mix them into each other.
Akon and David Guetta came out with Play Hard, which is the Better Off Alone by Alice DJ hook.
Mm-hmm.
I did a wedding that Saturday and played all 3 songs, and they all went huge. Now, go back a year or two when Duck Sauce came out with Barbra Streisand.
It was 09.
Yeah, or a few years. Yolanda Be Cool came out.
Yeah, same thing.
I've heard those in Miami at Miami Music Week. Came back to San Diego and played them. Boom.
Well, right. They have to know them, and there has to be some kind of familiarity.
Well, but that's my point. They didn't know Blurred Lines, Get Lucky, or Play Hard. But there was enough familiarity, and as we found out in legal proceedings later, a lot of familiarity with Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
But I think if you have the right hook, if you have Niles Rodger doing really a chic guitar line, if you have a noticeable vocal, if you have something consistent, it works. I don't think Finesse is that far off of Bruno Mars' other work. And it's a Bruno Mars track with Cardi B, but it tends to be more of a Cardi B track.
It reminds me of that time that guy committed heresy. Ray Parker Jr. ripped off Huey Lewis with Ghostbusters. That was
what? By the way, just to go on record, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention in front of our esteemed colleague John Young, I was fortunate earlier tonight to have a meeting with a gentleman, Roger Langdon, who is the head of the Heart of Rock and Roll Huey Lewis tribute band. And
that's right. You are working with that guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, cool. With Roger. And we were hanging out earlier. And let me tell you, John, if the moment presents itself that maybe something like, oh man, if only you had like a conference in Vegas in February where you could bring an act like that out to perform. I don't know if that opportunity presents itself. I'm just saying.
Because there'd be a draw.
There would be.
Everybody. Everyone knows every song. Everyone can sing along. You know every song. But seriously, the music of today, unless it's a corporate gig, unless it's something like a party, weddings, I'm not drawing as much. I don't care how young or old the couple is. You're not drawing today's hit. I'll challenge DJs. If you haven't done this, if you're a little bit older like Brian and John and not me, well, me too, go to Billboard right now. Look at Billboard's top 10, top 100. Go to the top 10 and see how many acts you've never heard of.
Oh, I totally.
And you're a full-time professional DJ, and you've heard of maybe 2 acts.
But having said that, there have been some songs in the last 10 years that have been pretty good, and that's why we're here tonight.
Exactly.
What we're doing here.
Finally.
So, Jay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you, and John, I will ask you this as well.
Yeah.
What's the song, if you, and each of you, I'd like your individual answers. What's the one song that came out this decade that you feel like has the most mass appeal at your events that you perform at?
Uptown Funk.
Okay. Tell us why.
Uptown Funk manages somehow to cross over in all ages. I noticed 30, 40, 50-year-old women dancing their butts off to it.
Yeah.
I noticed guys thinking it's a cool funk vibe. And here's the thing. I haven't played the original version once. I only play the Full Tilt remix of it because it has such a great intro, outro.
Right.
And it fills the floor. And it's one of the better songs, in my opinion. And you and I have talked about this. That 112 to 119. Remember how there was that dead zone from like 112 to 115? You're like, okay, I'll do Prince Kiss. And I'll pitch down, Michael Jackson. Right. And I'll do, if I want to transition, I'll do Ladies Night because it goes 110 to 119 at the end because the drummer goes who knows where.
Like Heavy D and the Boys was like all right there too.
Yeah, exactly. But you only had a certain number of songs. Like Cake by the Ocean was a great transition to go from Michael Jackson to the 120s because it was that 119, 120 sweet spot.
Yeah, it's right there.
Uptown Funk, if you go up 4 BPM, you're at 119. You get out 4, you're 111. Now you've got Justin Timberlake Can't Fight the Feeling, into
Can't stop the
Uptown,
feeling.
into Michael Jackson, into Cake by the Ocean, into wherever you want to go in the 120s, whether it's Calvin, whether it's, something new or old. I love that sweet spot of 115 is being represented. Same
John,
with
what do you got? John, what do you got, John?
Probably the one that I have had the best success with is "Shut Up and Dance" from Walk the Moon, and the big reason for that is that as I'm doing weddings and I have the younger as far as under the age of 10, the kids know that song really well. So you have the youngsters who are there, and they're going to go like, "Mom, come and dance with me," and it has been a really successful song for that early in the evening to get those young kids involved, and in turn moms and to bring people out onto the dance floor. So as a second choice, the first obviously was the Uptown Funk. That has, as Jay
That's
said.
got like an anthem vibe to it, though. I like that you picked that one. It has a vibe that the intro to that song sounds like it could be the intro to like a really good commercial for a really cool vacation or something.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe to it.
Yeah,
Don't you wish you had a sign right here that says "You Should Be Here" by Marshall? No, okay, well.
It's a pyramid scheme, I think.
Well, did you get a little anxious though when John said at weddings 10-year-olds?
No. Go,
no.
John. Please. John was going to do a second one, and I'm afraid he's going to take mine. But go ahead, John. I want to hear it.
Well, the other one would be jumping down to one that I think actually may have more influence this decade than Beyonce, and that's Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" has still, much to my chagrin, it still does incredibly well on the dance floor throughout this upper Midwest area, at least in
What do you play it with, John?
generally I'm using that as the end of a set. And I
just throw that one in like a hand grenade, I think.
To a point, that's pretty much how I've treated it. Is coming out of something, and we want to have that. And I hyped the song a little bit as far as now I want all the kids to and because of the way that.
Can I give you a little mix you may want to try?
Sure.
"Happy" by Pharrell, "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift, Outkast, "Hey Ya."
See, now I don't like "Happy" by Pharrell, and it's gone over well, and everyone talks about playing it. I just
Good track.
It's no power.
Infinitely Happy by Pharrell was my choice.
See,
Just to say that was my big choice for the song that bridges everybody.
Yeah, that's
why Grandma comes out for it.
So early.
Little kid. Wasn't it like in the Minions or something too?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So little kids like it,
And their parents like it.
When I first heard it, I could have sworn it was a Curtis Mayfield track. I'm like, whoa, this is neat. This has got that vibe to it. So I've got different cultures jamming to it as well. So that's my opening dance song. It has been my opening dance song for probably about 3 years.
Sure.
But if you try doing that to "Shake It Off" to Outkast, I've done that for a couple years out of Glenn Miller in the Mood, "Happy" by Pharrell, into Taylor Swift, into Outkast, because they're all 80 BPM, and there's a vibe you get.
They're not 80 BPM.
Yeah, they are.
80 BPM according to what?
Yeah. According to the BPM listed on each track.
That's not right.
It might be half at 160, but they're, as far as the initial.
There's no way that song is 80 BPM.
Yeah, I think it's
Which one?
Happy.
It is. I swear.
No.
Look it up. John, get on a computer quickly.
I am. And there's probably somebody out there who's already got it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's not them."
I swear it's 80 BPM.
According to a computer.
It's coming in at 160 is what it's coming in at.
So 80 on half beat.
So you're in half beat.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, you know how I'm using whether it's half beat. Well, here's one. Totally off topic, but just to get where we're both coming from. What's the BPM of Brown Eyed Girl?
Oh, who knows?
It's like 138.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a fairly fast BPM.
Yeah.
But when you hear it, it's da 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 da. Like you count it that half beat. Same with Outkast, "Hey Ya." Even they listed
that one
says 81, 60, 80. Like
yeah.
Now I would say, and I'll ask you two. I have my answer. What is the breakout artist of the end of this decade? What's the track that snuck up on you in 2019 that you're playing and it's killing dance floors? I have one artist, one song.
Yeah.
I do too.
You want to go first?
Me?
Yeah.
Lizzo.
Yep.
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 And
We're all in agreement. There was no one else who broke out this year.
I want to thank Lizzo personally for giving me a new song to play after cake cutting to fill my day.
Something, anything.
Thanks, Lizzo.
We needed a song this year. Thanks for giving us a song, Lizzo.
Oh yeah, Truth. You play Truth after cake cutting. Whoosh! They're all on the dance floor.
In fact, the only other song that I can really think of off the top of my head from this year that I play is "I Like It" by Cardi B. I'm doing a lot of new.
And that's a weird vibe. That's a 128 song. That's a weird vibe.
But they like it.
They do, but it's not like a.
No.
It's not eats.
No, I will say this. I know that Jay, you mix your majority of your event as a beat mixed thing.
I try to.
I do small sets of that. So I'll do 2 or 3 song sets. But what I have personally found in my experience is that sometimes when something changes, it's a little more, wait, something happened. I'm paying attention now. And they say, oh, I know this. Whereas if it's very linear throughout and it all kind of sounds the same and it blends together, people can zone out. Where if I jar them a little bit, it makes them take notice. So that's just something that I like to do. But I do sets of beat mix songs, but I don't make it a point to play songs that particularly all work together BPM wise.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's my style. That's just my style.
I mean, honestly, my style is, I think, especially with younger clients, they're accustomed to that vibe and club and bar lounge thing where DJs are desperately trying to play. The one area that I don't do the in and out thing, the 2 minute out, 2 minute out. If a song works, I'm in it for 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's fine. People are just dancing, having a good time.
Yeah.
The song that I thought of when you said that, Brian, it's Tricky by Run DMC.
See, now we're talking about something from 30 years ago.
Right, but what I'm saying is when you say a song that, throws them off beat, but it's a different BPM, like that's a 127, 128. But when that one, that's push it for me. That I mix out a push it into that. Right, yeah, exactly. But that kind of song throws them a little bit. And I think sometimes they like that when you take them on a journey. So John, I got another question for the panel. What song do you feel is the most unique song of the decade that just stands out? It's different than anything else. What song is that for you?
Boy.
Wow. It's a great question.
This does not have to be a song that you're DJing with. Keep that in mind. But just kind of a wackadoodle song. Like if I think back to the 80s, to me, the weirdest song of the 80s was probably Tacos Putting on the Ritz, or maybe Biz Marquee is Just a Friend. I mean, those were weirdo tracks. Safety Dance was weird. No, Safety Dance was just synthy and fun, and it was good. But I'm talking about a weirdo track. What would be like can you think of a weirdo track that hit that you were like, where did this come from? I've never heard anything like this. This is goofy. That worked. I'm trying to think. For some reason, like El Jumbo, Chacarone. It's like, what the hell is this? Yeah, like 30 Seconds to Mars had a track, and Muse had a track in the last decade that both were like, wow, where did these come from? But they both, after hearing it a few times, you're like, oh, now it totally makes sense. I don't really play, like, when you say that, I think Violent Femmes. That's weirdo. Exactly exactly. Violent Femmes. From a different decade. Violent Femmes would be perfect. No. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have a song like that you can think of? That's like, why is it
the closest I'm coming up with that's and I wanted to make sure it was within his decade would be Thrift Shop.
That qualifies. That's a good one. That's a weirdo one.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one, John. Yeah.
Mine, Jay's gonna hate it. Jay's gonna get angry when I bring it up, but I personally like the song. Go for it. Pumped Up Kicks. Okay, don't get me started on that song. I'm not. I'm just telling you. That is the weirdest weirdo song that I heard this decade. Yeah, no, I'd give you that. Yeah. I'd give you that.
I just don't like it because I don't like the.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I'll get a soapbox for you in a minute.
There'll be comments. The 2,000 or 3,000 people watching this, the comments will start with like, "What do you mean? It's totally not that." But whatever.
Whatever. I wasn't. I knew I was going to wind you up on that. So that's why I put the disclaimer out there before I said anything.
So Jay, how do you really feel about that?
I love you.
You know the sad part about it is I'm so freaking old and tired. I can't remember who the hell does the song.
Foster the kids.
Foster the people.
Or foster the people. Whatever.
Foster the kids. He's got that thing in his head.
He's close on his stuff.
Yeah, foster something.
So
I'm getting my cane. I'm yelling at clouds in a minute.
what's the good song that came out this decade that people just kind of forgot about? Like it was really good, and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be great," and it just kind of went.
Sugar by Maroon 5.
Which one?
Sugar by Maroon 5.
Man, I thought Moves Like Jagger was a better track.
I do too, but I think Sugar died faster than Moves Like Jagger. I got more traction out of Moves than I did Sugar, and I thought Sugar was a great dance song. I'm like, oh, this song is perfect.
What do you got, John?
Cobra Starship. What is it? You Make Me Feel?
The cover from
Electric. Oh,
Cobra Starship video.
They did the like Boys Hate Girls or Girls Hate Boys or something.
Yeah,
song.
it was kind of like just hang on a sec. We can do this.
I was just thinking that was it MGMT?
Yep.
That was kind of weird too.
Trees or something. Oh no, that's Animals.
What's it called? Kids. The song called. It was called Kids.
Okay.
I don't know. The one that I thought was going to do better than it did, and it worked for a while, and then it just kind of fizzled. But I was convinced it was the next Usher's Yeah, was David Guetta with Getting Over You, where he had Red Fool in there and he had Fergie in there. I thought that was the hottest goddamn song, and it didn't last long.
No.
But I thought it was so strong, I couldn't believe it.
This is the song.
Yeah.
I thought when I first heard that song, again, going back to the days when we used to preview all of the CDs when they came out, when I heard this one, it's like, this is going to be hot. This is going to go well. And it did for about this much at high school dances and such, and then it's gone.
Right.
You know, speaking of previewing songs, back in the old days when I used to get they were called hot hits. They were for jukeboxes. It was before I even joined promo only. There was a song that almost sounded like an Ace of Base song, and I can't remember the name of it, and it's stuck in my head, and I'm going to have to find it and listen to it over and over again so I can get rid of it.
It purged with a...
Can't be in my head anymore. It was like a low rent Ace of Base kind of thing.
Was there a track Fascination? It was the duo that had the strong synth that dun 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 dun.
I don't know, the vocals were just really strange on it, and now I'm recollecting like half of the song, but not the entire song. So it's driving me crazy. I have to find it because I have no idea what it's called. I even Googled last night. Sounds like Ace of Base, and it's like La Bouche. I'm like, no, not La Bouche.
It's close.
La Bouche sounds nothing like Ace of Base. Thank you, Google.
Yeah,
So
asshole.
helpful.
Well, you know the things, and we've had this talk. Things have changed. This decade has really changed a lot of things. You know, I have 2 teenagers, and they don't really own music. They don't buy product. They stream.
Yeah.
Did you happen to say what your song was that you were surprised didn't hit?
No,
No, I don't think he did.
I
You did.
and I got kind of thrown.
Sorry.
I'd like to know.
And you can't
No,
pick
That wasn't it.
Foster the People.
Fascination Human League? No.
Yeah, Human League did it, but that was a long time
Keep
ago.
feeling fascination.
I'm stuck in the 80s.
You are.
Hey, happens to all of us.
You know what, Brian, to be honest with you, I haven't really, everything I kind of gave up on, like, oh, this is going to be big. Like Dua Lipa, Electricity. It's like, oh, this song's going to be huge. And it was okay for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was Kiss with Calvin Harris. I thought that would be bigger. You know, I mean, but nothing really that I got behind. The last big track I got behind was the Timmy Vegas Lady D track, the one that sampled Crystal Waters and Beastie Boys.
The one that I just cannot believe didn't catch on in the States at all. Like nobody heard it here. Was MK with 17.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a beautiful song. like from 2 years ago, and didn't nobody even knows it.
I think, but again, we're going back to, at least with me, my mentality of music was I ingested music as out came the album, I bought it, I listened to it, I listened to the radio. The radio didn't play just top 40. That was Casey Kasem on a Sunday going, hey, number 17, we're going here with a dedication and blah, blah, blah. Now music is coming at me so fast and so quickly. And today's indie artist on YouTube, Charlie Puth, he was doing covers on YouTube. And then all of a sudden he gets a huge track a few years ago with, who was it? Not Wyclef, Wiz Khalifa in Furious 7. And now he's had a whole career. Like, this is how fast it happens. It's not like the old days. And it's hard to change your pattern of taking in music. I mean, I deal with promo only. Do you know how much music I see on a daily basis?
Oh yes.
Tell me about it. Same as we do.
Every
Insanity.
day. It's insane. And I'm going for artists. I'm like, oh, Steve Aoki. You probably never even heard this. You want a great track I got over the summer? Steve Aoki did a remix of Dave Matthews' Crash Into Me.
Really?
It's a great version. I've probably played it 6 times since I got it in August on promo only. And every time I play it, everyone's like, what's this? This is awesome. I love this. I'm like, it's a Dave Matthews. Who? What, Dave Matthews, I don't think has had a track this decade.
No. John would know. That's more your forte.
But
than
the
mine.
first decade, yeah, Dave Matthews had some good releases. Space Between.
90s.
Yeah.
Ants Marching.
Wasn't Space is 2000s, right, John? Space Between?
I'm not sure.
I think it's late 90s.
That great cover out. Yeah, this one.
Steve Aoki and Darren Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it obviously is not very popular on iTunes.
Besides Baby Shark, what was your novelty track this decade?
Fox. What does the Fox say?
What does the Fox say? It's a good one.
Yeah. That was my novelty. What does the Fox say?
How about you, John?
Goodness, that's a. When did Gangnam Style come out? Because that would have.
That's a good one too.
That was
like
early,
2016 or something.
You could do Whip and Nay Nay. You could do Wobble.
Yeah, Wobble was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was ahead of that.
Yeah, those are good ones. Oddly enough, the one that I still kind of consider novel, I can play it once in a while. I can't play it at every event, and it just tells you the type of events that I do. If I just want to do something weird, I'll do like Skrillex's Bangarang. I mean, that one is just.
I love that song.
Yeah, what's a great song, and certain parts of the country or the world, they really know it well.
Mm-hmm.
Here, a few people know it, but it's not something that's like in lexicon.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, if you don't mind me mentioning, try this mix. Maroon 5, Payphone, into Bangarang. Trust me. I've done it. Trust me. Sweet.
Those are really good novelty tracks you guys threw out there. We had them.
Yeah. We're hitting it.
How about like there are certain songs you can play and people will just lose it. They'll go out there and start jumping around and going crazy. Kind of like the House of Pain sort of vibe. You play Jump Around, they all go nuts. What track do you have from this decade that has that property, has those types of properties to it?
Sexy and I Know It.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So this one I'm going to throw out there that does it, and I would have never guessed it, but it has for the last now 2 years with Pitbull's Fireball.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I never played it when I first.
Timber too.
Yep.
Wait, you just started playing Fireball, didn't you?
Yeah. I just I didn't touch it until was it last year.
We talked about this, and I'm like, dude, you got to play Fireball.
Yeah, and
Timber has the same reaction, and I don't really know why, but I don't question success. But every time I play Timber, they freak.
Yeah.
I try to avoid that one. I do Don't Stop the Party. I do Fireball. Don't Stop the Party. It gets a really good result.
I do Cayocho.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
Times like this, But Timber, Don't Stop, Fireball, all huge.
How about DJ Snake, Turn It Down for What?
Every wedding.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, still.
I'm not doing every wedding, but once in a while I'll pull it out and it
I
gets
use
that
it
reaction.
against old songs because I like old news. So if I do Turn Down for What, I come back with East Side Boys' Little John with Love, and vice versa. Or I'll do Dylan Francis from, Fast and the Furious, Low, because you can do the hook at the end of Turn Down for What, where it's going, brrr, and then you can do low on it, where it's like low, 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 filter out, boom, down.
And see, Jay's making it really complicated.
See, and I've used the DJs, the Turn Down for What, but I only use that little segment. I just want that basically the hook of the song. Drop it in off something, and then boom, out of it again.
Oh,
54 seconds or whatever, or something that maybe it's not that amount, but yeah, that's.
Who was the Cardi B of the first part of the decade? Because there was a Cardi B like character. It's like we always have these characters that jump in.
Nicki Minaj,
yeah. And what a different artist as far as music goes.
But this is the funny thing, and I think the trend and pattern we're seeing is not everyone's able to sustain, because you got to realize we're talking about 20 years now in the century.
They're consuming things quite fast. They always have.
The difference. I did an EDM wedding recently, and they're like, "We like old EDM." Well, I was at Whitney Houston, dance somebody, mix it into Fisher, Losing It, which is a brand new track. From that into, you ready? Eric Prydz, Call on Me.
Oh, well, I played that last weekend. Yeah.
Into Better Off Alone, into The Launch. I mean, but these tracks are 20 years. Sandstorm just turned 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense?
It makes sense in the regard that, and this gets a little deep, but I'll try to do a Reader's Digest for you on this. Well, no, hold on a second. I got a philosophy on this. I think
you got your picture taken.
We're kicking back, and Brian's going to go monologue here for a while. So,
no, I swear this is only going to take a few. You guys, quicker you guys be quiet, the quicker I can get this out. Back in the 70s, back in the 80s, we had music, we had television. In the 70s, it was more music than television. In the 80s, we had television and music. Those were the cool things that were going on. Now we have phone, texting, internet, politics, all this other shit that's distracting us. So music isn't the thing it used to be. And they're not taking the chances they used to take with artists. Back in the old days, a lot of the people who were doing the A&R and looking for the artists were saying things like, you know what? I don't get this. I don't get it at all. But you know what? That doesn't mean it's not good. I'm going to try it. I don't get it, but I'm going to try it. And then you had all this cool, amazing stuff happening. And then the baby boomers got involved and said, you know what? I know what's cool and that's not. So we're not doing that. And everything started sounding alike. And now they don't want to take chances. The music business just doesn't pay like it used to.
Yeah, there's formulas.
So, you need sure things. It's like movies. Mad Max Fury Road can't get a sequel because Pitch Perfect did better that year, so it got a sequel, right?
Right.
I mean, come on. What was actually a better film? It was obviously Mad Max. I mean, everybody will tell you that.
Right.
Anybody who knows anything about art and film, and it was a better story. It was a better everything. But it doesn't matter because Pitch Perfect made more money, so it got a sequel. That's the music business, and that's why everything's so homogenized and sounds alike. Yeah,
but I go back to what I said about my kids not owning music. People today don't, even adults, you don't need to buy music. You have Spotify, you have iTunes, you have YouTube, you have all this access. There's no investment. When there's no investment, you don't care. Nobody, like when I tell people I stood in the rain at 3 a.m. and it was freezing out to buy tickets to a concert, they look at you like, how? Why would you do that? Just go to YouTube and watch it. No, I want to go see it. And you know who's saving that? The man behind it that is saving music, in my opinion, today is Jack White. And I'll tell you why. You go to a Rockin' Chores concert, you have to give up your phone.
Yeah.
They put it in a little pouch and they lock it.
I've seen a little bit of that. Even for comedians are doing that.
He wants you to be in the moment and enjoy. There are moments in my brain. Present. Right. I saw Warren Zevon do an acoustic piano version of Accidentally Like a Martyr in 1982 in Boston on a dark, I mean, like it'll go to my grave with me as a memory. What memory do people have of music now? It's just background. It's just nothing. And it's sad. And you can tell when they start doing this because the keys are the same. I use Serato. You use Mixmeister, you have the keys. Start looking at keys. Notice how many dance tracks are A. They're in the key of A. A is a great key. You play bass, I play guitar. A, very simple key. Just go C. Let's go to C. There's no like, wow, look at this D minor. Oh, that's Black Sabbath stuff. That's, don't. They're doing
it's very homogenized.
You know what? I guarantee it.
Formulated.
And I'm telling you right now, if I disappear after tonight, you can blame the music industry and maybe Clive Davis. I don't think so, but maybe, because I'll tell you, I'm going to give the secret away right now.
Oh boy, you started talking about Clive Davis. We're in trouble.
No, here's the deal. I know the secret. This is exactly what happened, Brian. It was one of those like, okay, so anyway, no, it's sad because they have patterns. They go back to the mid-'70s and they go, hey, who remembers Afternoon Delight? Let's take the key, let's take the melody, let's twist it a little, and that's a new single. Anyone ever heard of England Dan and John Ford Coley? You know what we'll do? We'll take this song and do this. I swear that's what they do.
I wish they were doing that. We'd have better music.
We'd have much better music.
I wish that's what they were doing.
Well, no,
Mr. Conspiracy Theorist.
Yeah.
I wish. What's your favorite song from this decade? Your favorite song?
Let John answer first. I really got to think about that because it won't be something I play at weddings. I guarantee it won't be something I play.
What's just something you really like? What's your favorite song from this decade, John?
You gotta give me a second. I want to make sure that it's of this decade.
Let's see. Did he release that in 2009 or 2000?
That's so awesome. Oh, that's so
Duets
awesome.
was 2000. That was a long time ago.
God, what is my favorite song of this decade?
My favorite song of this decade, and I thought about it, and I guess there might be a runner-up or two, but if I had to pick one song, it would have to be Spectrum by Zed. It's my favorite song of this decade. I love that track. It is so good. And I had such high hopes for Zed. When I heard that song, I was like, this guy's the future. This is like Lady Gaga all over again. This is going to be amazing. And I didn't really hear anything else that he did that I really liked as well as Spectrum, including Clarity. I didn't like Clarity.
You didn't like Stay?
No, I really didn't.
I loved Clarity.
Something about him and I know you did, and I did. Something about him and Matthew Coma doing Spectrum was my absolute favorite song of this decade.
Do you like Matthew Coma?
I like him sped up the way Zed produced that track. I honestly, that combination was great.
Check out Hardwell Dare. It's Matthew Coma and Hardwell, and if you like Spectrum, I think you'd love that song.
I might, but I just something about Zed's a classically trained musician. I mean, I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy gets it. I'm listening to the production of this work, and I'm listening to how it's sounding through the monitors. And just the structure of the song, and I'm like, oh my God, this is music again. I love this. And it went away.
You didn't go.
You know what? Mine might be Avicii Levels.
That was my second choice.
Yeah, mine might be Avicii Levels.
I like the instrumental of that one, though. I don't like it when she sings.
No, same thing. The instrumental. But yeah, I think it would be a tough call between Clarity, Spectrum, to me, are neck and neck. Avicii Levels, I was like, wow, this is refreshing.
That was really good.
I would say it's Levels. Yeah,
that was really good.
So
John, where are you on this?
So I was looking at Jason Derulo. For some reason, I really like his music as their more recent stuff, but I can't play it because most of the time it doesn't work. Want Me was probably of his tracks.
That's a great track.
Is my top one. And then I'd probably go to a Flow Rida as a second, and I would go to My House.
Okay.
That's a great track.
Just because they both just kind of little. They're not exactly the mainstream stuff from them, but they're kind of neat little things to play around with. So,
the other one I really like from this decade, I really like it, and it would definitely be on my top 5 list, is Martin Slovak with Hello. Oh my God, I love that song.
It's a really good track.
Mr. Saxo Beat was this decade. That was hot. It went away, but it was hot. I liked it. That was really good. There were some really good songs, and I was so hard on this decade, but there was some good stuff.
There are songs that missed
playing it,
but made sense. Like Chris Brown had a track called "Fine." Like it's amazing, and I was like, "Oh, this is the next big hit." And literally nobody knows it but me. Like it literally went nowhere. There are people that know it, but it was never Forever because he got all that backlash after Forever came out. You know? I mean, I still play Forever. I still play Teo Cruz. I still sets that I still look at, and at weddings people go, you know, they still enjoy it. Music should always be enjoyable.
Speaking of Chris Brown, Beautiful People. Oh my God, that was good.
Great track.
Good. Yeah. I couldn't believe it was Chris Brown. I'm like, what is this? This is amazing.
Well, again, it goes back to that starting the decades. Then where did they finish? Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't want to talk.
Oh, she's an actress now, by the way.
Well, you know, she had a track called "Just Fine." Great dance track. I believe was this decade. "Just Fine" by Mary Kay. Or Mary J. What am I saying?
Yep.
Mary Kay. Yeah, she's the makeup person.
She did makeup. Yeah.
Yeah. So a really good song that again really hit.
Okay.
You know what are you gonna do?
Apparently, I don't read the rules.
One of my favorite songs. I told you I really enjoyed the MK17 song. There was another one that came from the Netherlands that I don't think did too much here, and it's unfortunate because it was amazing.
M83.
Mr. Prob's Waves, the Robin Schultz remix.
Love.
Isn't that an amazing track?
Love.
John, do you even know it?
No, I don't. What was it again?
It's Mr. Prob's, like MRPROBZ Waves, but it's got to be the Robin Schultz remix.
Right.
So this guy basically did this really nice ballad. It's beautiful. But Robin Schultz remixed it, and it became a huge hit in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
But now, do you know the story behind Sugar by Robin Schultz?
No, I don't.
It's a Baby Bash Frankie J song early in the 2000s, like maybe 99, 2000, somewhere in there. And it's very slow. It's like a 103 BPM song. And Robin Schultz comes in and brings it up, and it becomes this secondary hit. But all it is a pitched up song. Now, when you and I have been in Vegas, you met a friend of mine named Kirk, the DJ at Stratosphere.
Yeah. I remember him. Yes.
He came to me in 2000, 2001. I had a DJM 3000 mixer and CDJ, so I had master tempo. He recorded, God is my witness, he recorded that song sped up to like 125 as a dance mix a good 10 years, maybe 12 years before Robin Schultz ever did the remix. Because he thought it would be cool to drop it as a slow and then do a sped up transition.
Right.
He recorded it in my garage with two CDJs, recorded to the out, but with two versions playing. And on the break, he would just start lifting the pitch. And I'm like, wow, that sounds great. He goes, I'll give you a copy. But it's cool. Like, that's the Sugar is the original track of Baby Bash, this San Diego artist. And it's slow, like urban style Sugar, you know, Get So Fine and all that. So there are those times those things hit. Well, I thought Ghetto with Akon doing Better Off Alone was going to be bigger. Play Hard, that kind of came and went fast.
Yeah.
It was around Daft Punk and Blurred Lines in the same week, so a lot of traffic.
What's the funniest song you heard this decade?
What does the Fox say?
That's the funniest song you heard this decade?
I think so.
How about you, John? What's just the fun you heard was like, what? This is hilarious.
Yeah, it had to be that or the Baby Shark thing.
Yeah, Baby Shark.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty
either
funny.
Either one.
The funniest song I heard this decade was Sac Noel's Loca People. That song is hilarious.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
To me, it's very funny.
No, it makes sense that it's funny.
Somebody is trying to sing English who doesn't speak English as a second language is hilarious. Anytime somebody who speaks broken English and tries to swear, it's always funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same thing from We Know Speak Americano.
Yes. Yeah. But that's more eloquent than local people.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot, and they don't say the F word, so.
And you know, Ingrid with You Promised Me was this decade too, 1242. That was this decade.
Yeah.
I looked that up and I love that. So
Yeah.
France and Spain right there just killed it. Which was fun.
They need to represent once in a while.
They do good work
they do great work, but they don't represent as well as they could sometimes.
Well, it's maybe our fault for being a little closed-minded, but they did some good stuff.
Oh yeah, they did.
But
there was a follow-up. Zach Noel just had a follow-up recently, and it was like, yeah. You know, but so did We Know Speak Americano, Yolanda Be Cool.
Yolanda Be Cool? Yeah.
You know, you see their follow-up, Dance and Chant?
No.
So I'm listening to it. It came out in, let's say, December. Well, April, March came out. And I'm like, this is a great song. It's very disco. So I decided to take to the world of YouTube. And I just type in the name of the song. Oh, there's the original from 1979 on Casablanca Records. Yeah, it's a cover. Cool. Really, guys? You spent 8 years waiting for your next hit and you did a cover? What are you, Joan Jett?
Yeah, right.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my list.
That's because Joan Jett did a lot of covers, kids, if you don't know who that is.
Yeah, those were all covers, I believe, that she was doing.
I don't think she had one hit that wasn't a cover. Everyone was a cover. Somebody else wrote it.
What have we missed? What have we talked about that was really hot this decade before we wrap the show? What track have we missed that just really represented this decade or resonated on our dance floors?
We would be chagrined if we wouldn't mention some of the slow stuff. There were some ballads that came out that I think we're going to have with us for at least another 10 years. That'll be in that long time play folder, I think.
Yeah. Ed Sheeran, yeah, I was certainly.
Jason Mraz.
Jason Mraz had a good one.
Adele.
Adele, I haven't had the Adele stuff. Just has kind of fallen off off my radar completely.
For now, but she was hot.
If she comes,
I mean that was happening for a minute.
Back then.
John Legend, when initially was strong, and then this summer was didn't do much this summer, but now I think John wasn't he voted like the most sexiest guy, and
John Legend ain't going anywhere. John Legend is
talented.
Next year,
talent always rises to the top.
John Legend is the next Smokey Robinson as far as I'm concerned.
But it rises to the top if you get that push.
Yeah.
Talent means nothing. There are some amazing talented artists that went nowhere.
Brian K. mentioned Old Town Road. Yeah, very hot this year.
Oh, huge.
1,000 Years. Yeah, that was super hot.
That was a slow one, yep.
I mean, it's not.
But Old Town Road, by the way, made Little Nas $14 million this year.
Yeah, not bad.
It doesn't even seem like enough.
One song.
It doesn't seem like enough, though.
For the 19 weeks at number one or whatever it was.
Yeah, that doesn't
broke records. Like I think I go back to the, Grammys with Pearl Jam, where it was, you know what, there's no such thing as bad music. There's just music you don't like. Sex Pistols isn't bad music. You may not like it. Ramones weren't bad music. You may not like it. Captain Beefheart, Frank Zappa. There's always going to be artists that push the edge, that go out there and try to represent art for art's sake. I think now, though, it's so commercialized that it's become homogenized in respects to it's hard to pick it out. Like Ed Sheeran could sing the Phone Book, and kids will swoon and they'll go nuts.
Yeah,
I'm sort of like that's who I hated at the beginning of the first decade. Hated, and now I've come right around to loving the guy. Was John Mayer.
Oh, really?
John Mayer in the beginning, loved his album, then saw who he was as a person in the media and hated him. But now I've seen him as a guitar player and a singer and songwriter, and the guy's like so talented. And that's I almost wish Ed Sheeran would stop for a second and put out an album of just him and the guitar. Be the next James Taylor. Be the next crooner. Be the next, I can do this with no strings attached.
You know, the one thing that I mentioned earlier in the broadcast was that, you know, Pitbull to me has been hot for almost 20 years.
Absolutely.
Because I remember him through Latin, you know, circles. You'd
But
hear
he's
him at the
still
Latin
out
club.
there that we don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that where, you know, and then he goes mainstream, and I don't notice when he goes mainstream because it's mainstream to me anyway.
Right.
You know, tracks like Kulo, I mean, that was just like, yeah, this is a song you hear all the time.
Sure.
So when Gayosha came out, it was like, okay, I guess they're playing that on the radio too, whatever, because it was all just kind of linear to me. But come 2000, this decade, a lot of artists were like that. So I think that one thing that I can say that this decade brought to us was some real Latin music. Really, it came into the mainstream.
Oh yeah, certainly.
I mean, think about tracks like Despacito. Oh my God. I mean, like it or not, that's monster.
We're talking in the last 2 years.
But it's been happening all decade long. The Jennifer Lopez stuff was happening. The Pitbull stuff was happening.
Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique Iglesias, exactly. It's taken over. I mean, and it's. I think
know who Daddy Yankee is, even if you can't name his music, but you know Don Omar and Daddy Yankee for reggaeton are.
Yeah, but they're. I don't know them as mainstream artists. I know them as strong artists last decade. Yeah.
Right, but look at regionally. Like I'm in the Southwest, so for me to play a reggaeton song at an event, it's pretty common. You know, I mean, I've learned to like figure out how to mix gasolina into something else.
And that's interesting too, because reggaeton was. When I first started getting into reggaeton, it was the late '90s. And it was stuff like a guy named El General, which sounds nothing like the reggaeton you know with Daddy Yankee. Right. But what's interesting is this was like Cuban and Puerto Rican and Dominican music. Sure. Mexicans had nothing to do with this stuff. Like the Mexican culture, no. This is not what we do. Now the Mexicans are into it. That's cool.
But we still get
it's bridged, you know?
Banda, ranchero. You know Banda?
Yeah.
Banda is the death metal of Latin music.
No, it's not.
That pop, 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 pop. It's so fast. That trombone and the tuba. Pop, 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 pop. It's like
dude, it's speed polka.
It's death metal.
It's speed polka. Come on, man. One person
speed polka is another person death metal.
Your speed polka is my death metal. I don't know what to say.
Before we wrap up, we should go through and we should pick out a few songs that are going to have some longevity. Some
good idea.
Songs that we will be still able to
They're not going away.
Exactly. And we've talked about a few of them. So let's just throw them out, even though we've already talked about them.
Lizzo, Truth Hurts.
You think that'll have?
I think it'll go.
I think it's gone in a year.
I would like it to be gone next week, but I think it'll be gone. I think it's got more legs than we'd like to give it credit.
Okay.
I think there's a level of that in Minnesota it will, because she mentions the Minnesota Vikings, and there's enough people who grab onto those little novelties.
Oh yeah, you're done.
We're going to be listening to this.
Playing this in 10 years when we do this show in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then if the Vikings do win a championship type game at some point in time,
that won't happen. But so anyway, if you know. It's a good thought, though.
I'm just trying to work that in. Thanks for crushing my spirit. You soul crusher.
I just want to thank everyone. This will be my last appearance on Dish Jockey News.
Yeah, until the Vikings win, and then we'll talk.
I think the song that isn't going to go away, it's going to, and there are songs that have stuck like this every decade, and the one from this decade is Call Me Maybe. Last decade, it was Party in the USA. The decade before that, it was one of you Spice Girls. This decade, it's Call Me Maybe.
Yep, I would say that's going to be the young ladies that sing along song.
It's never going away.
I would have thought you would have said like Uptown Funk or something like that.
Yeah,
no, Call Me Maybe.
I think Uptown Funk will be here.
Gonna stay.
I think that'll stick around.
Well, to your credit, as being a musical genius, I have, in the last 4 weddings, played that song. I haven't played that song in 2 years.
And they lost it.
In the last 4 weddings, I've played it, and they've lost it. But I skip that intro because it's like,
Oh, I leave it.
Here. It's
I
like
leave
Jesse's Girl. You almost want to skip that Jesse's Girl intro.
Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it. It's familiar enough. The one thing I will say, it's those girl power songs is what I call them.
Yep.
It's just what they are, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it started with the Spice Girls. You could argue that it started with the Go-Go's or Cyndi Lauper, which it may have. Girls Just Want to Have Fun kind of fits into that too.
Right.
But with this is what I did this weekend, just to give you an idea of how weird I am. I'm playing all of this Indian music. I'm playing Bhangra, and I'm playing Bollywood stuff, and I'm doing Punjabi stuff, and they're dancing and having fun. And I go to dead air, you know, just dead air, and everybody's clapping. I'm like, oh man, you know, you guys have some amazing music over there. I said, but I just want to let you know that here we have culture and our music as well. And there are some really important songs that we play in our culture. And people are like, oh God, what is it going to play? I put on Wannabe by the Spice Girls, and the place went batshit. Because it was like a joke, you know. And I do setups for that song at dead air. I'll say, this is the greatest song of all time. And like, oh no, what's it going to play? Or this is my favorite song ever. And they do not expect that. And they just, as soon as they hear, and the first beat, they're bouncing as high as they can.
Yeah.
That is like the best track. And Call Me Maybe is like that, and Party in the USA is like that too.
I do that same kind of intro at the end of a wedding if they're the cool couple, even though all my couples are cool, but the super extra cool couple, maybe once or twice a year. Folks.
You can't dig yourself out of that one.
Well, yeah, because even I thought, like, oh, are they watching? They could be. How many people are watching?
Yeah, tens of thousands.
18,000.
Yeah.
18,000. And I'll give this song speaks to the couple's love for each other and the joy that they feel being together. And I put on the Dan Band, Total Eclipse of the Heart from Old School, where they swear. And it's...
How would you do that? So let me get this straight. You're convinced that Lizzo's going to be around in 20 years, which I think is weird. And
in 20 years?
No.
What did you say, John?
I was saying we're something that we'll be playing in the next 10 years.
But what song did you pick, or did you pick one yet?
I missed that totally. I'm sorry. Did you say 10 years or 20 years?
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. That will have longevity. Like
what's going to have longevity?
Yeah,
and I'm thinking Wannabe. Spice Girls Wannabe
is one of the
came out in 1987, the year my daughter was born. She's married and almost 22 years old. The song stuck around,
and we're still playing it. I think Uptown Funk. I don't think Can't Stop the Feeling. I don't think that's going to be there.
Uptown Funk to me is Jungle Love.
I think it's going to be there. Yeah, I think it'll be at some level.
Yeah, I wish I could still play Jungle Love, but nobody knows it anymore. I mean, Jungle Love was that hot. You could play Jungle Love for 20 years, and then it went away.
Yeah, you got a point there.
It's too bad, because it would be nice to reintroduce that song to people.
Well,
like The Bird, that was a fun group active song. We don't play that anymore.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to Prince with you, but let's twist this up just a little. Why don't we say artist, not song?
No, because it has to do with the specific song that hit that is going to be big.
I know. But I'm saying on top of it, is there an artist that we look at and say, oh, I guarantee they'll be here in 10 or 20 years?
Oh, who knows?
Oh, boy, that would be
tough.
Who
knows?
I know, but this is like Vegas-style odds we're calling it.
Okay, but, I mean, think back. I mean, I was with you. I was sitting right next to you.
Yes.
In 2008, when Lady Gaga walks on stage, we never seen her before. Before.
We all looked at each other like, it's okay.
No, I loved it. I have videos saying I loved it.
I know, but I was, for the most part, going, the Just Dance song was good. The Disco Stick wasn't. This wasn't. And then she came out again, and I was like, wow, 5 beers later, she's amazing. I'm pretty sure I got on board.
After 5 beers.
What I'm saying is that Lady Gaga is incredibly relevant. Not particularly her new music, but she's an actress now. She's
right.
I mean, yeah, great hit last year. Shallow. I mean, that was gorgeous. And we're talking about 12 years later.
Right, but as far as one of the biggest albums in this century, Fame. It's listed as I think the top selling album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
According to Billboard. So I think she has staying power. You know what? I'm getting.
But
that's
so
what-
John's question is this: what artist, or your question would be, what
mine
artist
is
came
what
out this
artist,
decade?
this is what song?
What decade would it be? I'm sorry. What artist would it be who would be around for another decade, real strong, or who's developing now? Who would it be?
I think the obvious. I think the obvious is Bruno Mars. I think you'll see him in 10 years easily.
I'm thinking. I don't know if I had to do odds. If I was a betting man, I'd have to put my money on John Legend.
But I think John Legend releases music too slowly.
But
And
that's
he's
what's
not-
beautiful about it. He doesn't oversaturate the market.
No, but at the same time, he's not releasing like he. Name. Can you name 3 songs by him? You keep mentioning all of them.
Okay. Well, a green
Like,
light.
I know
was
his
big.
first album, and his first album is chock full.
Save room for my love. Yeah, I can mention 3 songs. There you go, fucker.
Right, but my point is, the general public, I think, as far as the big tracks, all of these, you got to keep hitting those huge, like, grand slams. That's where Bruno has done well. He's had the like hit, and then massive hit. Like Justin Timberlake, he seems like he's slowing down. I don't know if he's trying to be something else or, he had Can't Fight the Feeling. Name something else from the decade he had. Nothing.
Can't stop the feeling.
My version, I have a remix. So I'm saying.
He had that track with Michael Jackson.
He's got that crappy.
Love
import.
Never Felt So Good.
Yeah.
That kind of came and went. That was good.
That could have been something.
Yeah, maybe.
And like I had almost forgotten about that song until I was like just really thinking about Timberlake tracks. I'm like, when the hell did that come out? Like, oh my gosh, that was like 2014.
Yeah, but it's
other really fast.
Rita and
Good song too.
Sexy Back. There was that first chock full of hits, like, whoosh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I tend to think when they get to the sophomore or beyond albums, they slow down enough where you're like, is it worth it for them to really put out product?
Or did they
Or
become?
just start kicking ass.
Or did they become Garth Brooks or Billy Joel and they continue to live back on those
Right.
first early songs and
Poison.
make a career out of that?
Poison makes a career out of selling out, decent sized arenas to go play the same songs they did 30 plus years ago. So I guess the bigger question is there an incentive in music to continuously put out new product, or do you simply just show up to the dance and go, here's my 5 songs, I'm waiting for my break, my Vegas residency.
Somebody mentioned Drake. I think Drake does songs every week, and it's pretty accurate.
Drake has been consistent.
Day and night DJs. They're right. Drake's always do. I'm not a Drake fan. I don't get it, but it's not about me,
But he's top 40. Post Malone is top 40. Do you like Post Malone?
No.
He has 3 songs in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, I think it was a few weeks back he
listening
had 7
to-
in top 100.
I was listening to what's the cat's name? The Roots, right? With the pick in his hair.
Questlove.
I'm listening to Questlove tell this story about bringing a blind date to a Prince concert. Doesn't matter. But anyway, he's saying, now I'm this weird kind of famous where people either look at me and go, dude, you're Questlove, or they're like, who the hell are you? And I think there are a lot of artists out there right now who have that quality. So guys like John Legend, although they're trickling out, I think he's a more recognizable guy than Drake is.
Oh, I agree.
Also,
but he's also got his wife to thank for that because she's recognizable. So you have that kind of coming together, almost not Beyonce, Jay-Z, because they're both in music, but his wife is this loudmouth, huge on social media, very well known, Victoria's Secret model. So there's that extra push. They're in the mainstream.
Yeah.
John Legend is accepted by everyone. This is the criteria, Brian. If you make it to carpool karaoke, you're okay.
You've
Right.
You've made it.
And by the way, who we have not talked about tonight at all, which kind of surprised me because I think the most talented artist of the decade and beyond, and still around, and still, in my opinion, amazing, is Sia.
I don't really have an opinion on Sia. I don't typically play her music at my
From
events.
07 forward, Chandelier, Cheap Thrills,
Boring, incredibly boring.
with
She
zero.
came and went over here, as did Chandelier.
I tried to play them at high schools, but I couldn't get them to work because they just were sad.
They're falling flat over here, dude.
Sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as artists go, she's managed to go from 0-7, which was obviously a down-tempo chill, to having her own career, to now guesting with other artists.
Yeah.
Are we not seeing maybe another release from her that could be pretty big?
I don't know. What I want to know is what's going to happen with Billie English. Is she just getting started or what?
Oh my God. Talk about talentless. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm there. Go ahead. Boycott me. Am I alone on this? It's not that it's not good. It's that it's.
Didn't he just get through saying there's no such thing as bad music?
I think he did.
No, it's weird for being weird. Like, don't get weird. Like, I love the Plasmatics. If you don't know who they are, look up Wendy Williams and the Plasmatics, Butcher Baby. I love that song. You'll hear that, and it's like a cheese grater. But Billie English is like,
I'm more of a Hazel O'Connor kind of guy if we're going to go there.
well, like, where are we going with this? Like, are you just releasing it to be weird? Like, it's not substantive. There's no message. There's no, I spent a lot of time. This is my heart. And,
These kids today.
Are you saying that Bad Guy doesn't have a message?
What's that?
You're saying Bad Guy doesn't have a message?
Well, it has a message, but it has a message in a kind of odd, weird, just, oh, yeah, like you're a fan. Look at you. Even you can't stop laughing.
I'm just
John
waiting.
Young here from Des Moines. I'm
just-
talking about Billie English. I love her.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Jay to. And those damn kids will get off my lawn.
Yeah. I've already started shaking my cane at the clouds. It would be cool. I bet you there's a remix of it that I'd love. But the original, when I saw her Saturday Night Live performance, I'm like, nope, still don't get it. Nope, not there. By the way, she's no Sia, Brian, just in case you're wondering.
Oh, okay. By the way, folks, I have really bad news for you. Jay is going to be joining us bi-weekly now on this show.
That's me. Different topic.
I'm not even kidding.
No.
Right, John?
This
We
is it.
discussed it. The contracts have been sent out. My lawyer has said it's okay to sign. He said, jump on board, kid. The money's there.
Yes, this is.
We're going to have Michelle behind it with a taser in case it gets out of hand. So
Just got
it's gonna
in.
be good.
She just got in, and I have not seen her for the day. But she's wandering around the homestead somewhere. The lighting will change every time because right now we're just going with this. The uplights, trying to be cool. I watched a video on how to light yourself. Apparently I didn't pay attention.
3-point lighting for camera.
That's what it said. Yeah. One side, front, back. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's not what I did, is it?
It's tough to count from 2 to 3.
Close. The monitor kind of counts, I guess.
Yeah. I've got that
3.
one up
Oh,
there.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah. It's purple, maybe not be the color.
Thank you for having us tonight, John. Thank
Yeah.
you for letting us
really.
scramble.
Yeah, good.
It was a great time. I love the community though. When I'm not on the show, I mean, I'm angry, when I'm not on the show, I'll be in the chat and look at the comments, and it gives me great hope to know that there's this many passionate people out there about music because I'm on the West Coast. So for me, it's 2 PM. I mean, this is just the middle of the day. For you guys, it's late. What's it, like 4 in the
Sun's
morning?
been down for hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I know Brian K is up and about. Love you, Brian. When are you going to come to the West Coast?
Never.
Come on, you can drive it.
You remember the A-Team where every time they flew somewhere they had to like give Mr. T a shot, give him a tranquilizer, on the helicopter? What are you gonna do with Brian K?
Like an Ativan or something, and just be like, psh,
He's out.
no, it's fruit
Right.
punch. Just try
Yeah,
it.
it's good.
Put a Jim Jones logo on the side. Oh, too soon? Too soon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
my dad went to high school with him.
Did he really?
He's from where I'm from.
Oh, here we go. So you got him, you got Jeffrey Dahmer. Who else you got? John Wayne Gacy?
Dude, I can't even.
It's like serial killer land out there.
Well, not out here. That's a different place, but it is here too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying it follows you.
Pretty much.
No, Jim Jones is from the Richmond, Indiana area, and he's in my dad's high school yearbook.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and my family talks about how when he was up and coming, how people would say what a great guy he was, and he was, lived in our town. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then San Dimas, you had the whole San Dimas high school football rules kind of thing.
Yeah, there's nothing bad happened there. Well, unless you really didn't like Sebastian Cabot from Family Affair or something. He lived down the street.
I loved him. He was awesome. Mr. French?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived down the street, like 2 blocks away.
Really?
Yeah,
You
on
know,
my street, on Payson.
You know Buffy committed suicide at 18?
Yeah, I know.
Well, the show went dark fast.
Mr. French didn't kill himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a second.
He had a lot of cats.
Poor John's in the middle of this going, I just want to try to boost ratings on my home channel. What the hell's going on here?
Well, no,
We're way into overtime. I tried to get
I'm taking notes. I'm moving notes and moving some questions and such around so we have them for future show ideas because I've got a few that were sent over. So, but yeah, we need to wrap up here. Jay will be back with us, as he said, a couple of times a month. I think. We'll be getting that schedule out to you guys so you can jump in and join Brian and Jay on some weeks, and it'll be Brian and myself some weeks, and even Ben still will jump in with once in a while.
I got to spend a week with Stowe last week. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, very, very knowledgeable.
I've never met him before. First time I got to meet him last week in Arizona. Great guy.
Yeah, it's the Ben Stowe we have on camera is very, very similar to the Ben Stowe that you have, but there's little bit different. There's a little bit of a difference.
Really? Well,
how much?
I'll be honest with you for what it's worth. The Ben Stowe I met in Arizona last week, something about this NLFX thing. I met him on the way to a topless bar. So I'm just, I'm just saying he was. Yeah, he had a bottle of Jaeger and a fistful of 50s.
Yeah, that's
Ben Stowe.
No, that was his evil.
That was the other Ben Stowe.
Ben Stowe, yeah, the one.
He was wearing a flannel, talking about ice cream and Star Wars. I don't know if that helps.
That's getting closer to the Ben Stowe.
That sounds like Ben, yeah.
So thank you guys for being with us tonight. We'll be back again. We're pretty much off the rest of the week because of the holidays. We'll be back again next week with the shows. Reminder, there's going to be a Black Friday deal going on this week. We'll be announcing that. Actually, it goes live Thursday. Go out to DJNTV.com/Black Friday. That will take you to the page, 5 o'clock Thursday. It goes live, and that's going to be a special promotion for the show. Go to that page. All the information is on there right now, and the links to purchase will be there on Thursday. Jay, Brian, thank you guys.
Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you as always, Brian. Love you. John, love you.
Yep,
thank you
much.
to everyone that watched.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay safe, everybody.
Good night, everybody.